What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today is going to be my Blu-ray DVD collection for 2020 and the military section. So at first we have 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Yeah, good film from 2016. Directed by Michael Bay, who of course gets a lot of shit for a lot of his movies, but this is a really good film with John Krasinski. I liked it a lot. Next we have Basic from 2003 with John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Connie Nielsen. Good film. Up next we have Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman from 2001. Good action scenes, I would say, and Owen Wilson is decent in this film. Up next we have Biloxi Blues from 1988 with Matthew Broderick and Christopher Walken. Film directed by Mike Nichols. Up next, we have Broken Arrow from 1996 with John Travolta and Christian Slater, Samantha Mathis from 96. Yeah, I remember when I saw this for the first time. I went to a drive-in theater to see Independence Day when that came out, and this was the second part of the double feature. But I only saw half of it at the time because the girls in our group didn't want to stay for Broken Arrow, but I like that movie. Up next we have Courage Under Fire, also from 96 with Denzel Washington, Meg Ryan of course, Early Wolf for Matt Damon. Up next we have the classic Crimson Tide from 1995, directed by Tony Scott. Yeah, with Denzel and Gene Hackman. I love submarine movies, and this is one of the best, of course. Up next, we have the Delta Force from 1986 with Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. I don't have a lot of Chuck Norris films, but this is definitely one of my favorites. I used to own the sequel on VHS back in the day. But I don't have it on DVD. Up next we have A Few Good Men from 1992, of course, classic with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. Yeah, special edition, excellent film, of course. Up next we have The General's Daughter from 1999. Decent film. John Travolta is good in it. Good supporting cast from what I remember. People like Timothy Hutton, James Cromwell, always enjoy him. Up next we have Green Zone, 2-disc limited edition from 2010 on Blu-ray with Matt Damon, film directed by Paul Greengrass. Good film, like it a lot. Up next we have G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra from 2009, 2-disc digital copy edition. Yeah, Channing Tatum and so on. I wasn't a huge fan of G.I. Joe growing up. It's because I was born in Britain and grew up there, so G.I. Joe was more of an American thing to me. But I enjoyed the first film, and I also have the sequel, G.I. Joe Retaliation, on Blu-ray 3D from 2013. You got Bruce Willis and The Rock. Sienna Miller is good in those films, so they're okay. Up next we have Heart's War from 2002. Really good movie with Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell. I like this film a lot. Up next we have The Hunt for Red October, one of my all-time favorites from 1990. Absolutely love this film with Sean Connery, of course. Alec Baldwin is Jack Ryan. James L. Jones, fantastic. Sam Neill, Scott Glenn. The entire supporting cast is terrific. Yeah, one of my all-time favorites. Up next, another good submarine thriller, if you like, and that is Hunter Killer from 2018. I really enjoyed it a lot with Gerard Butler and Gary Oldman. Really good, solid story, good action. I liked it a lot. Up next, we have The Hurt Locker from 2009. Yeah, Oscar-winning film, of course, by Catherine Bigelow with Jeremy Renner. Absolutely fantastic. Up next, we have Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise from 2012. Yeah, really good, really solid. Liked it a lot. And I also got the sequel, Jack Reacher Never Go Back from 2016. Not as good as the first one, but still very enjoyable. I liked it still, but yeah, like I said, not as much as the first one. Up next, we have K-19, The Widowmaker, another good, solid submarine flick from 2002 with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson. The accents are a little bit dodgy, but the drama in the film is really good. And yeah, like I said, I'm a sucker for submarine flicks. Up next, we have The Kingdom from 2007. Yeah, directed by Peter Berger, I believe, with Jamie Foxx and Chris Cooper, Jennifer Garner. Really good, solid action in this movie. I believe Jason Bateman's in it as well. Good film, that. Up next, we have The Last Castle from 2001. Yeah, good film with Robert Redford and James Gandolfini, Mark Ruffalo, Delroy Lindo, great actor. I remember seeing this at the theater that I would eventually end up working for. I saw this in 2001 when it came out in a theater I ended up working at like 3 years later or 2 years later, something like that. But I remember this was the first movie I ever saw at that theater. Right, guys, moving on. Up next, we have Lone Survivor from 2013. Yeah, really good film with Mark Wahlberg. Liked it a lot. Up next, we have Men of Honor, special edition from 2000. Yeah, good film about military divers. Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. Racial tension, that kind of stuff. Up next, we have Missing in Action from 1984. Yeah, Chuck Norris classic, Vietnam POW classic. And I also got the sequels, double feature, Missing in Action 2, The Beginning from 1985. And Missing in Action 3, or Missing in Action Braddock. From 1987. I just love the villain in this film because he's always yelling, Braddock! Next, we have An Officer and a Gentleman from 1982. Yeah, Richard Gere, Louis Gossett Jr., and Deborah Winger. Absolute classic. Special collector's edition. Up next, we have The Peacemaker from 1997. Yeah, really good flick with George Clooney and Nicole Kidman. This was where I really became aware of George Clooney as a movie star. Was kind of with this movie. Up next, we have The Presidio from 1988. Yeah, set in San Francisco. Sean Connery, Mark Harmon. Up next, we have Proof of Life from 2000 with Russell Crowe and Meg Ryan. This was on TV the other night. My mom is a huge Russell Crowe fan, and she was watching it, even though it was in Spanish. Up next, we have Rules of Engagement from 2000. Yeah, good film with Tommy Lee Jones and Samuel L. Jackson. Up next, we have Sicario from 2015. Yeah, really good film with Emily Blunt, Benicio del Toro, and Josh Brolin. Liked it a lot. And I also got the sequel, Sicario, Day of the Soldado from 2018. Not as good as the first one, but still very enjoyable. Up next, we have Sniper from 1993 with Tom Berenger and Billy Zane. Not a great film, I would say, but I still enjoyed it. Up next, we have Stealth from 2005, widescreen special edition with Josh Lucas and Jessica Biel, Jamie Foxx. Not a great film, but there's parts of it that I do like a lot. Back into my place. Up next, we have Stop Loss from 2008. Really good film. with a good young cast: Ryan Phillippe, Abby Cornish, Channing Tatum, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, all terrific actors in their own right, about people returning from the Iraq War and having to go back, basically. Up next, we have Stripes, 1981 comedy classic, of course, with Bill Murray, John Candy, Harold Ramis. Just a fantastic film, directed by Ivan Reitman. Up next, we have Taps, another terrific film from 1981, 25th anniversary special edition with Tom Cruise, Timothy Hutton, Sean Penn, George C. Scott. Love this movie. Great film set at a military cadet academy. Up next, we have Tears of the Sun from 2003, I believe. Director's extended cut. This is a fantastic film, starring Bruce Willis, the always lovely Monica Bellucci. You know I love her if you've been watching my videos. I believe, is it Jamon Hunsu's in this as well, or am I thinking of something else? I might be getting that mixed up with the Leo DiCaprio Blood Diamond. Yeah, I don't think Jamon Hunsu's in that now that I think about it. Anyway, moving on. Up next, we have Top Gun, special collector's edition. One of the all-time greats, absolute classic. I loved everything about this movie when I was a kid. Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis, who I was in love with at the age of 10 years old. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Edwards as Goose, Val Kilmer as Iceman. You've got Tim Robbins in there, Michael Ironside. Love everything about Top Gun, the music, the dogfighting scenes. Can't wait to see the sequel, Maverick. Really looking forward to that. Shame it got pushed back for obvious reasons this year. Up next, we have Tropic Thunder from 2008. Yeah, Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., and probably a role you probably wouldn't be able to play these days. Jack Black, great cameo by Tom Cruise himself. Just a really funny movie. Up next, we have Universal Soldier from 1992 special edition with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. I like the first one a lot. I think I've seen like maybe the one or two of the sequels. I'm not sure, but not really a fan of those. And last but not least, we have Zero Dark 30 from 2012, I believe. Fantastic film. Again, directed by Catherine Bigelow, Jessica Chastain. Just a wonderful performance by her, and Jason Clarke, really good as well. Yeah, just a fantastic film. So that is my military section. Up next will be music, which includes movies about music and musicals. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.